and
Okay.
let it go up. That's my first line. And all 100 interviews, my first line is let my Facebook go up and then start. We are already live and our Facebook is loading and we are going to stop the echo because I have not been able to technically understand it. But there's going to be a film made on just me saying this 100 times in 100 interviews.
Yes.
That's going to be
The
that's
behind.
gonna be an awesome film. Yeah. So anyway, it stopped and it's not showing any echo, but it started live. So welcome, Sucheta. I'm so happy to have you here. Good evening, everybody, and good morning from wherever you're going to launch. Some of my pillars are going to drop in. They all are early morning people who drop in to just support this movement. I'm totally blessed to find such amazing mothers, and I'm totally honored that you are part of this because you've been an inspiration as a mom and you're here more than a Zumba ambassador. For the first time, I think you're showing up as a mom being interviewed, inspired, and go in a book as a mom.
Yes,
So
so excited.
yes, Sweta, go ahead, introduce yourself because the mother who lives the story tells the story the best. So please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. I think I've always started my introductions with my job profile as who I am. But I think over the years, I've realized you are really beyond your work. So my Instagram profile now says addicted to evolving because I
Um,
truly think that's who I am. I I think that's my core where I love to learn. So I'm a learner first. And I'm a teacher second. I think that's how I would love to introduce myself. And I think the discovery has happened majorly through work. So yes, in terms of work, I am an ambassador for the Zumba brand and program in India. I am a Zoom education specialist, so I train the trainers. And thanks to motherhood, which is I think one of the most beautiful but toughest role that I'll ever play. But that's also given me strength, and my son has given me strength to start a passion project, which you very well know, Shika, which is mom board strong, and the whole purpose and my mission and vision behind it is to really help in a small way, in whatever way I can, women to really understand their body and what changes that they go through, and help them to heal and recover, and do away with this whole societal pressure of bouncing back, fitting in your college jeans after pregnancy, and really embracing who we are, realizing the raw power, and taking it from there to continue our fitness journey. I think I'll keep on talking about it because I'm so passionate,
I can
but
talk about it. Yeah, I can talk about it as well because we're trying to do the same thing with our careers. I've been a baby and child photographer, India's first baby and child photographer, and I
right.
was trying to bring that as well, not to be that perfect mother in front of the picture. What you're trying to do with body. Terry is here. Jenny is also here. Jenny, so nice to see you after so long. Terry is here, and she said I looked Sucheta up yesterday. She's incredible. Good morning, gorgeous. Jenny is also here. Jenny, so nice to see you after I was missing Jenny in the. She's regularly there saying good morning to us when we are
So
live. These are also incredible mothers. Terry is a mother in our book already. As you just said that we're passionate about it, we can talk about it. The pulse is the same, Sucheta. What you are doing. In fact, I was talking to a
I
designer.
did when I spoke.
Yeah, the designer. I was talking to a designer who where moms go and get themselves fitted, and then she just basically keeps telling them and fits them into what they look gorgeous, not try to fit them in what is trendy, what is amazing. I
Yeah.
have a physiotherapist coming in who's a beautiful Sufi singer. She's one of the moms and discovered her through physiotherapy, and I knew she was a healer when I was touching her. And she's an incredible, so I just couldn't, do justice to this, but all of us are trying to do the same thing here. We're trying to put that mother pulse into the place where we're trying to make them feel that do not get into this whole notion that you have to be somebody else,
Exactly. There is
because
no mold of a perfect mom.
and embrace it. So let's hear. First of all, I must tell the audience who don't know Sucheta. There are a lot of people who know Sucheta, but maybe there's a lot of international audience who still need to know Sucheta. That for me, Sucheta is this mother who's with her whole belly coming to Bangalore. I was in Bangalore, and you were very close to you were near PSN at that time, and I was breastfeeding my child when your child was, about to come. And, I was like, I must go and see this. Sucheta has come all the way to Bangalore, and she was just right next door, and she had come to, in her full pregnancy, she was there on the stage dancing away, leading, yeah, it is
uh,
called, yeah, leading, the
life.
crowd, yeah, leading crowd, and incredibly beautifully with becoming an inspiration to everybody. Let's talk about that. So why, like in India, I don't think so anybody's done it. I think you're probably the only one who's done that on stage, going ahead. So what made you go there? Let's talk about that first.
For sure. I'm not sure if there has been others who've, been on stage. I really hope there are. I do not want to be the first person.
Got you.
But if I am, that's great. Let's start from there. But I think it came from this very deep rooted fear, and me being in the fitness industry, I had this fear of, will exercise cause harm to my baby? Right? Will I have a unfortunate, incident, or something happens, right? And imagine someone who's been in this industry, who studied so much, has these inhibitions. And I wanted to break those inhibitions and myths for myself. I wanted to listen to my body and not, 500 contradictory information on Google.
Right.
Now, uh, I also, one of the reasons, I did that. So basically, if you don't know what we're talking about, just to give you a background of whoever is listening. So in 2019, I was pregnant, and in my second trimester, I decided to do a 7-city. I call it the Pregnant and Perfect Tour, which I think I should have called it Pregnant and Powerful now. But that tour was where I went live with my students, my people who've been with Zumba or Zumba fans or whoever, and they come and they did live sessions. We had hundreds of people moving and grooving together, and I was teaching a live session. And I went to 7 cities in my second trimester with my belly out, and I had the most incredible time. But where it came from, this passion to do it, was, as I said, I had my own myths to break, and I thought, hey, if me in the fitness industry, if I have such inhibitions, of course anyone else will have. So let me research, let me study, let me talk to my gynecologist, my medical practitioner. And I had a beautiful gynecologist who weight trains herself, and she's like, go for it, right? Just be you. Just do whatever you were doing before, but of course, reduce your. So there are a few things which I took care of. So anyone who is into this pregnancy journey, right, or becoming a mother, please continue with whatever fitness routine you were doing pre-pregnancy with your doctor's permission, and reduce intensity by 30%. Never be exhausted, always be hydrated. That's it. That's it. It being active during pregnancy doesn't mean you'll have a vaginal delivery or a C-sec. It just means you'll have a very healthy, active pregnancy, and hopefully a very, and I really hope that for everyone, a healthy baby, right? So that was one of the deep-rooted reasons that, hey, I want to see what my body is capable of, not to prove anything to anyone, but for myself.
Right.
But because I have a platform, Shikha, like you have, right? I wanted to also spread that word to as many women as possible in my way of empowering, right?
Right.
Again, I decided to get pregnant at 37, which is supposed to be late, which is late for many reasons, biological for many, of course. But I also wanted to share with people that because I've been into fitness, I've had a fit lifestyle, my actual age, which is actually you can measure, right, in a body composition monitor, is 32. So I also wanted to show that to as many people as possible, that this is possible. It has age is not how many years you've lived on the planet, but how you've lived on that planet, right? So that's the second thing. And third is, I've heard a lot of women now, by choice you want to stop, working. By choice you want to take a break. But there are a lot of women who are confused about, should I stop working? Will it harm my baby, etc. Right? And if you're in that dilemma and you don't want to lose your identity, don't. Make a choice. Yes, there will be some hard choices, but during pregnancy and post pregnancy, give yourself time to heal, but also make that choice for yourself, because the baby is important, but so are you. So these are the three things which, it was just not, hey, exercise and you can exercise in pregnancy, but no, it had a lot of messages that I wanted to share.
Oh yes, absolutely, and it showed across for sure. And again, Mike is here. He's our cheerleader, one of our cheerleaders. We have men cheerleading us, well, in this movement, and he's just been a very big support for me as well. So Mike is saying that's amazing. Zumba is such a great way to stay active, and the baby can have fun as well. Jenny, Rosetta, incredible views. Dr. Rosetta Williams is here. She is the CEO of Dalmia Group of Education, and she is here again, a very inspirational mom in the book. and she's the reason why I started my career as a baby photographer in this country. Um, and I must say this to you that again, there's a similarity. You know, when I was pregnant with my baby for the first time about 8 years back, the older one is 8 years old, and I think so I used to do 1 year packages, like from the time the babies were born, and my family used to take on for 1 year, and I was committed to this one of the families where. Just few days before 11 months, I said I can't do the 1 year one, but definitely till 11 months I'll be with you. And I was climbing stools in my 9th month pregnancy, and taking pictures and driving around and shooting and holding equipment and going around, and they said, "Are you sure you're going to come?" And I was just like 5 or 4 days away from my due date, 6 days away probably. And I was still standing on a stool, I remember. And I remember she calling up downstairs, like, "If this woman is rushed to the hospital right now, I'm telling you, the driver has to be ready because she's just going totally crazy." They've never seen a photographer driving around with a full belly and holding equipment. And what happened that night was I was a little unwell, and then my husband said, "Enough." Like 6 days I left. Now back off. We need to, and I was hospitalized that night because of some
I
other.
actually went to teach a class just 2 days before I delivered, and it was like again a class, and I can totally relate. Like my husband was like, "Bas ho gaya."
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. Nothing doing that, and I was hospitalized at that time, but I came back. But I absolutely agree. And Zumba is even another level. And for me, the inspiration came was that when I was, because I was very young when I became a photographer. I was all of 18, 19, and I started teaching about 20, 23. And people had, I'd done an international course. Nobody had studied photography at that time, 20 years back in this country. Even now, people don't study in this country. They assist and they follow. So at that time, there was a workshop I was doing, and I had this Russian woman coming in for the workshop. And she was in her 8 month pregnancy, and she's like, I really want to learn how to take great pictures of my babies. I was like, fine. And then I talked about high angle, and I was like going on because I was young, I was just like, you have to take high angle. She's like, I really have to do it. I said, yeah, you must do it. And she went ahead and climbed up a bark of a tree, and she was taking pictures. And at that time, I realized, unbelievable. She came
What
back,
else?
yeah, I gave her a lower angle, and and she was lying down and she was taking pictures with a lower angle on the grass because I was doing it in Lodi Gardens in Delhi. And that was like one thing I was like, if I am going to be pregnant ever in my life, that's how I'm going to move. And if you were there, I would have looked at you and said, if I am pregnant, I would be doing Zumba on the stage for sure to prove it that you can, because you were totally beautiful.
Pregnant, and they were teaching till 9 instructors that I have trained. So I have to say that they were like huge inspirations
Yeah.
for me to be able to do that.
And just go to the crowd and go right in front of them and uplift them without any excuse was absolutely beautiful. And then I also totally admire your journey on Instagram about how you come back, what are the struggles, emotional health. I totally, because I used to breastfeed my child at that time. I was very young, and I used to just look at it and I'm like, she's just incredible. And I never knew I would be inviting to a book of mothers across the world,
I'm
and
so
you would be, and it just came to me just maybe 2 weeks back. I'm like, Sucheta, pregnancy, that picture of you dancing on stage with full crowd cheering you up. And then I was like, she has to come to this book. So let's talk about your program, Sucheta. And I know your baby is not so well, so we cannot get very passionate. We are two passionate women who can talk for hours. So we
yes,
need to wrap this up early.
perfect. So we'll keep it short, sweet, but of course, I want to make sure that
Yes,
whoever's gets
yes,
gets
yes.
the right message. So I think last year, when being in the fitness industry, it's very important for me to always make sure that I'm at in the best functionally fit capacity, right? And I thought, because I've been into the fitness world, I'll be able to, what we say, bounce back, right, post pregnancy. And I hate that word now, because it shouldn't be used for women anymore. And I write very passionately against it now. But
Why is that? I'm inquisitive. Why is that? Why is the bounce back?
I tell you why, because that's the realization I had last year. At 2 months postpartum, right? I went to Bangalore again, actually, Shika, and we had this amazing event which I organized behind the scenes with my team. There were 500 instructors all there, and I just had to do like one song, and I was getting back into fitness slowly. And I thought, okay, one song, I can do one song, and I was still like heavier and all of that, and that didn't matter. You won't believe, Shika, just before going on stage, I literally peed my pants and I couldn't take it. And I've been talking very openly about it, right? Like, no shame. Like, it's what it is. And I couldn't believe it's happening to Sucheta Pa. Like, she peed her pants before going on stage. I was like, motherhood. And thankfully it was dark. And I went and did my song still. And I came back and I was like, something is happening, right? And then even as I did, so second thing what happened is I was exhausted after that first song. This one song I had to do, right? And I was exhausted. And of course the team took over and all of that. I came back home and I thought, this is it. Like, this cannot be happening to me. Why aren't women, why aren't doctors talking about this? Like, why aren't coaches talking about it? All we are said is, hey, at the 4 and 6 week, postnatal checkup, you are ready to exercise. But no one is actually guiding us what kind of exercise. There can be urinary incontinence. There can be a pelvic floor prolapse where literally your organs are trying to fall out from your pelvic floor, which is like next to your vagina, etc. Right? And no one is talking about ab separation. All of us are talking about how to flatten your belly. But why the hell do we still have that belly at 5, 8 months postpartum? Because there is something called ab separation. There is body that has changed. Literally, our abs have separated. But when we go to I am really guilty in this because for the last 10 years as a coach, if some pregnant, post-pregnancy women came to me and they had doctor's permission, I said, yay, great, perfect, come back, join back Zumba and just take it easy. I am so sorry to all the women that I told this because I never knew that there has to be a proper rehabilitation of your body, a proper healing through specialized exercise. It is not your crunches and your sit-ups to flatten your tummy. It's not holding a plank. That's going to harm you even more. But there are specialized deep core rehab work which works on, there's a technical word of an innermost abdominal muscle called transverse abdominis and all of that, and pelvic floor. And no, Kegels are not the way to go. Kegels, and there's something called breath work. So all of that, I literally took up in 2019 in the pandemic, no nanny, no house help, but I knew I had to do it. So I took up, like I studied again, right? That's why I said I'm a learner. So I took up a beautiful international, one of the best pre and postnatal, certification, fitness certification as a coach and specialist. I don't like to call myself a specialist. I'm still learning, but a coach. And it blew my mind. And I realized, and then I also hired some of the best coaches, right? So expensive. And I'm like, why? This is basic need for a woman. Why do we forget women just because now they've popped the baby? These kind of things all came together. And I said, no, first of all, we need to have something in India. We need to spread the word in India. We need to have something affordable for women to do it in their own kind of, time, but at least they should know about it. So that's where I started talking about it on my social media, my own journey, my own struggle. I talk about, openly about peeing my pants. I talk about how I had my belly protruding till 8 months postpartum. I talked about how I lost stamina and how I slowly regained all of that back with the right kind of postnatal training, right? And I created this online program, which is of course self-paced, which is of course, has unlimited access to, I want to give it in a very, very nice way to women, right? So unlimited access to all kind of right exercises, to posture correction technique, to continuous support. I also offer private group sessions because although that is something which is not like in terms of the cost which covers, but I'm doing that additionally because you know how we are, right? If we're passionate and we just want to give all out. So I want to do that. So I don't know how many hours I've spent every day trying to work on this for the last year 6 months. But I'm so happy, Shikha, that women are responsive to it. They know somewhere. I just yesterday I made an Instagram reel. You won't believe, Shikha, I have to say this, which is about, are you peeing your pants? This is a funny thing, right? And I told them how to maybe correct it, just work on it while doing jumping jacks. I got messages on messages from women on comments, on DMs. Thank you so much for putting it because I'm 4 years postpartum and I still pee my pants. Thank you so much. When I was pregnant, no one told us about it. I got DMs. I have never been pregnant, but I still have this issue. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about it. There's no shame, but we need to talk and understand the solutions for it. So it makes it all worth it, Shika. So all of that struggle and hustle, very difficult to understand, Shikha, that after so many years in being in what you call spotlight, to start from scratch again, where you have to now go and talk to people again. And I do everything on my own. I don't have a team except for just one person who helps me with making the program, like the graphics of it. everything from calls to answering everything is like my baby, like my second baby. But it's being so worth it. And I can't wait to share it with more and more women,
It's
So
incredible. It's incredible, and I love your passion about it. And
yeah.
I just totally love that. And two things that's coming into my mind when I'm talking to you, because I tell everybody I take, and before that, Debbie's here. Debbie's one of our pillars. Totally love her, Debbie. Thank you for showing up. Cynthia's here. She's going to be our would-be mom in the future. One of the moms in the book. So they're all it's morning for them. And so here, Debbie, thank you for showing up. Two things that came into my yeah.
Over there to express is because remember you said why bounce back. The reason that's what the first thing you said. I want to change the conversation to bounce forward. We can never get back that body. That's a fact. We better accept it because our bodies have changed. There's so much of change in our body. But is it weak? No. We have to learn how to make the most of this body. And we have, sorry to use that word, effing made a universe. How powerful are we? So understand that. And trust me, I am much more fitter than I was ever before pregnancy, right? So if I can, anyone can. Now, not because I've been into fitness. Trust me, the way that it's been the program is curated. So I want to change the conversation to stop getting into the societal pressure of bouncing back of what whoever you were. You are not that person anymore. You are a different, better, much more stronger version. Embrace that. Understand how to get to that version, and you're good to go. So that's why I try to change the conversation to bounce forward.
This it's interesting one, because now that's what two things were coming to me, and I'll get to both the things to you. One, again, I'm relating it parallelly. You're relating it from different. When I apologize, it's a funny way when I apologize to my mothers who I've dealt with all my life, because when I was all like 18, 19, I was this, and I became this one kind of a baby photographer in Delhi who was pretty known, and they never heard of baby photography, and then they never heard of memories, photographer who makes memories coming into your house, your first Diwali, your first festivals, the first time the baby started crawling, making coffee table books, all that. And I was just studying in the interview yesterday that I was doing all that, and I was giving a lot of gyan to mothers, because I was also very well known about finding people's inner light. So I got that compliment all the time, that you see in us what we don't see, blah 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 blah. And I used to give a lot of gyan. You're
Right.
gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're this, you're that. And I would just enter the shoots, and I would just go, and I would just come back. And then when it happened to me, what hits you, like you were just saying, that what hits you is totally different. Your mindset, your hormones, everything is so, the hormones, everything is working out. And the funny part I realized was, I wanted to take my child's first year journey in, taking pictures. And I was looking at it, and I was like, what the hell I've been doing to these people's houses? Done one shoot, and I can't put this back. I don't want to do the second shoots. And I've been going in there and giving them gyan and just saying, okay, hi, bye, give them hugs and just leave the house. So I was laughing about it, that I must go and apologize. And I did started apologizing later on. I'm sorry I created a mess. I'm sorry, because it's such a crazy time from all angles, that photographer coming in every month and just like destroying your house totally and going away itself is a, that was just one thing that I know yours is intense, mine is funny, but I realized that even at a very small level, I was realizing that what have I been doing to these mothers. And secondly, I think this must be said, because this is the most important part of your journey, which I also found really beautiful, was your husband and the support he gave you through and through and through. And that is where the shine in a mom also comes when that support comes. That support is very important. And I've seen your reels, I've seen your stuff, and how he's let you go for holding the baby, keeping him back, taking care of him while you were going. And in very early after your baby was delivered, you were going and doing shows, and he was there. And first time you left, first time you met, you had put all that. And it's interesting that you did, because I clearly remember his support, his this thing. And that's what we're going to talk about, because most of us also fail as moms because of lack of that support. Not because men don't understand, or not because like they say something bad. It's just that sometimes we become unrelatable. We are unable to express or ask for help or say we need a break, and we cannot relate to it, and we can't express it, and they can't understand, and then there's a gap. And then that support lacks, and then the shine lacks, and then the self-doubt comes. So let's talk about that, for just because it's important to give him credit for
Yes,
that.
I'm so happy that you brought that up. So I know many people, when you share responsibility, right? Both changing diapers. Someone is cleaning the bottles, which is my husband's job, but I take care of, pandemic, of course, all the food was mine, and I wanted to take care of that, right? It's by choice. So we are not lucky. First of all, it is a job of your partner to be part of it, right? Like to equally be part of it. Now, where I feel I'm lucky is what I will share is because I've just been lucky of the kind of human being with integrity that my partner is,
Right.
or
Right.
going beyond that equal partnership, right? That talks about a person. It's not about a man or a woman. It's about the sense of service, and it's their sense of, that ultimate sense of partnership. It's uplifting. And I think we do it for each other in our own languages of love. You know how we have our languages of love, right? So I think that's one thing which I wanted to clarify, that lucky is not sharing responsibilities. Being lucky is if you really have a partner who has a kind of evolution in the mind that a woman needs that extra, right? And you have to step up for it, because that woman has it hard in pursuing her dreams. She has her own demons in her head, and what can you do extra for them? Second, I think communication is super, super, super important. Whether we decided to get pregnant, it wasn't an accident, right? But it took us 2 years to come to that situation of now let's try. So we had conversation for 2 years. Why do we have, like, we were very clear why we want to be pregnant, right? Third is I think it's very important that we clarify even from the beginning what kind of parents we want to be. Now, we of course we will keep evolving, but I think that also kind of helps. So I'll be very, very, very frank that in our house there is no equal parenting. He's the first parent, and that's how it is. And we know each other's personalities so well that he's more of the one side of him is very nurturing,
Yeah.
and for me, I show nurturing in a very different way, right? So obviously, at this stage, the baby is absolutely more connected to my husband because he has that, nurturing, and I have to live with it because that's my personality, right? So we have that communication also, that hey, I can't get jealous now because that's what we know about each other, and that's totally fine, and it's fine. But I know that as he grows, I'm the one who's more, excited and enthusiastic, and let's do that activity and let's do this. And I know that kind of connection will come later, and I have to be patient. There are so many things going on, Shikha, but I think at the end, it is so important that the man or the partner in your life is secure. It all stems from how secure the person is as an individual. Everything else will fall in place.
Yeah.
And I think we've been supporting each other so much in our careers, in our personal life, that security has built also over time for each other.
And because this is a Mother Pulse project, Sucheta, I must also say this, that when I started this project, or in fact, even before, when I started the market research, which made me decide to go onto it,
Right.
I was operating that this is an Indian thing, that men are not connected or disconnected, or women don't ask for help, or mothers. It's actually, and why I keep saying this again and again, because I hear it the most common now. Being in this project even more, when women call me, Indian mothers are like that, mothers in India are like that, traditions are that's why, men are not used to it. It's not that. It's this disconnect is worldwide. It happens to people worldwide because, as you said, it's a person thing and a communication lack more than a cultural thing now. Because I think in main big cities, all of us are absolutely the same. The way we are operating our cities across the world is absolutely the same. And that's what I found, that the thing that I always keep saying, that stop saying that it's the Indian tradition or culture that doesn't allow it. It's that thing that you spoke about, the partner, the communication, that is very important. And why I still feel that you're lucky that you've been able to build this together. And that's lucky, but because it takes courage to build it. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of work to keep building that, to accept your demons, to talk about vulnerability, to say I need help. For a woman to say, we're raised like that, to ask for help is a very, something that we can't, and we get into this whole guilt. And I totally honor you for being very confident and even saying that fine if he is the parent who's more
To my
it's okay, because that itself is another ego issue for a mother. And since this project, I stopped like I keep saying there's no judgment, but we all have this ego that what is this that I'm day and night I give you birth. So there are a lot of stuff that happens, and not to comment on what's right and wrong, but the way we are raised, what we pick up in the environment, what happens, what's happened around us, what we've learned.
Sure.
It works around us, and we do it. But the bottom line is we're all mothers, and this project is just to say, hi, you're a mother, you're one of the shades of the mother, and hi, and you're definitely welcome to be honored, because no matter what we say, it is totally a different journey before you're a mother and after you're a mother. It's something else only, and everybody takes their own thing. And I don't think so there are 100 shades of mother. There are thousand, there are million. Every mother is different.
Thanks,
So,
definitely.
so that's just said that, and I'm actually spreading this message as well, that whether it's your partner support. I have my two of my friends in Bangalore who became like a village for me, and they were like my village. So I'm letting them in the book as my village, who came and supported me. And they are like how the three kids were same age and we could just dump them. If I was like crying and I was stressed out, the child was just taken away like that from me. They're saying that you go down, take a car ride, come back, hugs, they're crying. So
Nice to have. Oh
yeah.
my God.
So to build, the idea of that in the book is, one, your partner support is good. Two, your village support is even more important, because mother to mother you can be.
In the pandemic.
Yeah. And in the pandemic, it was even more helpful because I'd already created it, and then they were just three buildings apart. And the idea is that if we don't fall into a village while we become a mother, let's create one, right? Let's create, and let's trust other mothers. Let's trust and learn, because we cannot teach. I cannot teach maths to my child. It's simple. Somebody else will have to teach. I cannot teach structure to my child. Simple. My friend who's aptly structured can teach it better than I can. But I can teach creativity. I can teach taking bold steps to the other kids and other. So they were sent to me when things had to go out of control and they had to be free. So that's the thing. So we move on to the fact that, again, it's all about body, and this movement about self-portrait is discovering yourself through your camera. And this happens very often, that if I'm telling so many women, and I'm still dealing with moms, I keep saying it, 45 mothers, I'm still dealing with them. Why is your picture taking so much time? But they are with their camera and themselves in a room alone. And then also, they are so scared, because if I shoot like this, something, some a comment will come in their head, some chatter, some chatter, some chatter.
So much.
Do you think it will happen to you as well, that you worked?
All the time. So just because I have a mom bod strong, and I'm trying to, of course, always promoting body positivity, and more than that, I'm trying to promote body empowerment, right? I think I like to call it that. But of course, I'm human. Of course, I'm a woman. Of course, I will have doubts. Of course, sometimes when I look at the mirror, I'm not happy with myself, and it's totally fine. I tell myself, it's totally fine. It's been ingrained in you for years now. It's okay that you think. So I observe myself from like I'm floating above and seeing myself. It's so weird, I know, but I have to come out of my body to really understand what's happening, and it's not me, right? It's just that chatter, as you said. And but who has told this body is not normal, right? Who has told this body is abnormal? It's because of the pictures in the media, etc., right? What if, Shikha, all the models had like a belly like how we have, right? And all of them had a big butt, and this promotion, that would be the perfect idea of beauty. And if someone was like thin like this, that would be, oh my God, what's happening? Yeah, right? I just think like that, right? Like that's what we fed to us, whatever is the emotion, and it's more majorly to do with the patriarchal society, right?
I have a very interesting thing. You just said something very interesting. You said,
Sure. I think for me, it takes a lot of self-awareness. So that is the first step. I'm aware of my thoughts. And then second, I think I am working on self-love. I have not reached there, but because this program has helped me so much, because now I know that I can lift this very heavy chair like this. I know that I can carry my child without a back pain. I know I can run after my child when he's 5 years old on a playground for hours. I know that when I go on a stage again to teach Zumba, which I am actually next year internationally, I'm so ready for it, and I can take on that 500 crowd. That is truly who I am. That is my strength, right? No one's going to open my shirt and see if I have a belly or not. Yes or no? And I still have it. There's a lot of fat here, which will go with time. But I can give a run for anyone's money when I go on stage, and that's who I am. And I think that's very important for us.
No, that confidence is very important, and that's why that'll be inspiring a lot of mothers here. And you can see the chat here after your interview. I don't know whether you can see it right now or not, but getting total love here internationally from different moms as well. But I wanted to tell you, very interesting the research that I was doing, and you just said something that of course, I'm human. Of course, I will feel like that, right? And there were these Japanese people who created a robot, Sucheta. They created a robot, and then they made a statement that this robot is closest to the human experience because it can recognize its own reflection. So if that robot was passing by a mirror, it'll look at its reflection and recognize that this is me, and can recognize some other robot's reflection as different.
Wow.
And so they thought they'd achieved a lot of things. And then the statement was made, and the day it starts criticizing its reflection, it'll become fully human. You just said, so that was it, and it was actually a statement in a paper, because I think that's the most worst human thing to do, to criticize our own selves, and a robot cannot become
Self-growth. If you don't criticize ourselves constructively, how will it trigger self-growth? Right? So I use the word constructive criticism for myself.
And it's amazing. I'm sure you're doing a lot of study and a lot of self-work. It totally shows that you're doing a lot of self-work. And that's the important part. Come back, when you've gone down like that, take the rope, take the next step, take the other step, go up, go up, go up. Because we feel like, as usual, I just say this, that maybe I did not go so down, but we all do feel down on our knees at times when we become mothers. Right. And to rise again is the only next option, right? And it's really beautiful talking to you, Sucheta, and I can talk to you for us, and I wanted to, but our little superstar needs your support right now because he's not well. And let's see what Terry has to say. The once perfect idea of beauty. What an incredible village community. Thanks, Terry. Terry is also amazing. She's a very positive person. Being fit is not about being in shape. So we have everybody supporting us. So thank you so much for this. And Sucheta is one of our moms. One of our shade of moms in the book, and she will have to also take her self-portrait and sit with that camera and decide what her story is. Sucheta, what's your dream? What's your dream? Because this book is called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams. What's your dream?
It's such a deep question, and you just told me that you'd be asking this question just before we went live.
That's why I go live, because I want to tell the world that these conversations are not spoken a lot about. This is a real conversation happening. So reality will come and it will get manifested. I'm behaving like I'm some superstar that I'm saying that, but I've said my dream is that these 100 dreams in this book will come true. I will make sure of it by promoting this book so much that the 100 dreams come true. So we'll manifest your dreams, Sucheta. What's your dream?
Yes, of course. I think I do have a couple of, and it's kind of keeps changing, but I know at the deepest core is I want to be I've never thought about like family, right? Like it's not ingrained in me. Like, what's a mamta, there's a aata hai jaapta hai types. I've never been that person. But the moment I had my child, I still didn't have it. It came after 3-4 months. And I feel that that's something which I need to embrace, right? And I need to let myself go into that. And if I don't, I'll be regretting that beautiful feeling of what it is to truly love. And truly love is not to pull, it is to let go, right? So I want to see my child and my husband who have given so much to me, and I want to give. So I know it's very weird to say that as a dream, but because I struggle with that, that's something which I want to work on, and I want to have that. And everyone's journey, as you said, I want to have this beautiful, flourishing family where we respect each other. It's not about only love, and we respect and we are growing and we evolving, right? And that's the kind of family. That's one dream that I have, and I'm working on that. Second is definitely, I definitely want to be in a position, whether it is the ministry, whether I never share this with anyone, so it's very like I'm feeling very vulnerable sharing it. It's only with my husband that I've shared it. But somewhere I want to be with either the government or the ministry, or be on a board of schools or women, something like that, which I've not really thought of, but I know that's where I want to be eventually. or as someone who is consulting for an organization which affects wellness holistically for women, especially for mothers, right? And I want to do that in a very, very big way, associated with any organization, whether it is the government or somewhere where we can actually make change. I want to sit on that board and make change eventually when I'm 70, 75. I don't want to stop working, but I want to be that for
No,
sure.
you do it faster than that. You don't have to be 7. You're just turning 40. You're going very far. It's going to happen.
I
So
still
you
not ready, but
want to be a change maker, and that's a great desire to have. And I recently attended Debbie. I was with Debbie in that 5-day event I was done with Maya, and she's also one of the moms here. And I really realized that I knew it very early, Sucheta. I knew it very early, as early as probably I was 8 years old. I was meant to make a change in this world, and I avoided it for ages. I avoided it for ages, and I just kept on saying, I'm just overthinking. What do you think? Who you are? The imposter syndrome. And I, at a very young age, there's something that I was meant to do, and today, like, thanks to that event, I'm stepping in this even more, because when you know that you are made for that, and I think you are made for it as well. When you know it, don't wait for 75. Do it now. Like, do it now.
yes.
Look for that board now. Like, let's do it now and look for that board. And I am manifesting it on your behalf. Whenever this book goes, maybe we'll send it across with a little letter. Sucheta wants to be on the board to make this change across the world, and it'll happen.
I love that. And I feel so nice just listening to you and the way that you really embrace each one story. I can just see how genuine you are. I need to say this, Shika, because the kind of questions that you've asked, the way that you've also related your story to it, because your audience obviously knows you and relates to it. But I think that's what really, and I told you this, and I will tell the audience also if they don't know. But the first time I met Shika at an event by a very kind friend of ours, common friend, and like any other women, and I'm so used to taking pictures and to pose in the Zumba pose, and I was at a Zumba event, I think. And she's like, Sucheta, just pose for me. And obviously, I went in my poses and all of that. Like, show me who Sucheta Pal is. And I was like, what? No one has asked me that question. Who am I? Who the hell am I? And I cannot even express that picture is my DP right now on Instagram and Facebook. And I use it in all my talks. But one of the most beautiful pictures of truly who I am. Like, I can see my beauty, which I never saw before that or after that ever, Shika, right? I've worked with a lot of amazing photographers who have their own, of course, great work. But that was truly who I am. Like, it feels nice and okay, that's me. That's I'm a nice person.
Thank
So,
you.
Shika, thank you so much for that. And of course, I had to say yes. I'm so glad to be one of your shades. And I wish you so much luck and love. And to all the moms who are part of it and all the moms who will be reading it.
Oh yes, absolutely. And Sucheta, I must say this. I don't know where it is. I don't know why this camera was given to me, but I somehow still feel it's not me. When I look through the camera, something happens to me, and I so categorically remember you just jerking like that when I asked you, because you did, and you said, Shika, I'm actually a very big introvert. Okay,
I'm a very what? What did I say?
you're an introvert. You
Yes,
said, yeah, and I was like, yeah, like, yes. And these confessions have happened with many, many moms and men. I must say this with so many people. I have photographed 400 poets, I have photographed musicians, I have photographed people, but like, they whisper that this little thing when it happens to my camera. And I think we met briefly for 10 minutes and 10 to 12 minutes, and I totally remember. And then suddenly you smile and you became this. You said, I'm this small town girl, who has this big dream, and you've taken me there. And that's the picture that we've used in our announcement. And my cousin just messaged me like, I mean, isn't she a teenager? She can't be a mom. I said, no, she's a mom. She's not a teenager in that picture. But I love your spirit. And it's not only me. Honestly, it sounds very woo, but I started saying it. It's the inner light that I straight away can see in everybody. And for the first time in 40 years, I'm stepping into it and bringing it out in the world. And this time, I'm not even doing it through my camera. This time, I'm bringing it out by sitting on the screen and saying, you can do it. And that's what I'm telling people. This book it's not even me as a photographer anymore. It's gone beyond that. I'm going to take till the time these lights don't spark in every page, I will not leave any of the mothers, and all of them are here in the chat and they know I will not leave you. I will find your picture and put it there, because this has just gone beyond who I am, what I'm here for. It's just rising really up, and I hope, again, I don't want to say hope. Terry's here, she's going to stop me first. Don't say hope. I know that this is going to change, and this is going to change a lot of women's lives in coming future. Yeah.
I love it. Oh my god, I told you I get goosebumps every time you speak about it, and I can't wait for it to come out.
I'm so blessed to have you. Lots of love, Sucheta. Thank you for being this light for so many women who really need it health wise as well and emotionally. We need people like you to move forward and uplift them. That's what you're doing. Yeah. And we're going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to make note of this. We're going to get you on the board in your 40s, not in a 75.
It'll be the best 40 birthday ever, 40th birthday present ever.
We'll make it happen. Let's see who gets us there. We have a lot of people supporting us. Somebody will get us there on the board. We have Dr. Zeta Williams here watching us. I'll ask her. She is already at a position where she can have you as a first step of a board. Already telling her.
Why not? Now I started believing in manifestation after you said that. So yes.
Yes, it'll happen. You will watch and you will again come back and say, Shaka, you told me in that interview, because now it's live and recorded.
I will hold you to that. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's go off live stream. Thank you, Terry. You've been so amazing. Jenny, Mike, Cynthia, Debbie, Dr. Williams. It's
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. All right, let's go stop live stream.